You've never been speechless. Yeah, go ahead. I really want to see that.
Well, good morning, everyone, and I'm really surprised. I'm shocked, actually, not surprised. I'm shocked. I was asked to come down to meet with the county executive and Janet, so that's what I did, and we were talking about what we could do here with the park, and so I came here to evaluate with them as to what we could do. They even talked about Dave SOKOLA having been talked to before. So what can I say? Thank you for being here. It is really a tremendous surprise to see some of my family here from out of town as well. So they really pulled this. They really pulled this together. What can I say? Thank you. It has been a pleasure and to serve the people in the 22nd for 20 years and 6 years with the county. And I'm really, it has been a privilege and an honor, really, to have the trust of the people of the 22nd that they have placed in me to do all the things that we were able to do, dict upon for many years, and this was your place out here. So I was telling the county executive that initially this was supposed to be a retail place, if you remember that, and we opposed that. Then this site here was, we talked about putting a middle school here for the Christina School District, and I worked with the previous two county executive, Dennis Greenhouse and Tom Gordon, to make sure that we created this park here, and it has been used by the whole community, and it has been a significant asset to this area over the years. So it is really, it has been a place of gathering where folks have come, little ones and adults have come to really engage in all kinds of activities. So having said all that, thank you. I'm really shocked, surprised. I think you kept, my wife kept the secret very well. She left at the same time I did this morning. She was going to a meeting in Wilmington, and she said, I'll be back by 11 o'clock. So here I am. Again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here. Thanks my family for being here, including my son, who has come all the way down from Washington. So thank you, guys. Thank you, Janet, County Executive, for putting this together. Councilman, thank you very much. And whoever else was involved, Dave. Again, Paul, thank you for being here. My other good friend there from the House, thank you again, ladies and gentlemen.
We got you.
Yes.
You got the push. Good morning. I'm Matt Meyer, the county executive. Thank you so much, all of you, for coming today on this beautiful, temperate day. A few introductions. Representative Baumbach is here. Give Representative Baumbach a round of applause. Representative Jakes is here. Give Representative Jakes a round of applause. State Representative, oh, you're coming up later, I think. We'll get you later. Former State Senator, personal hero of mine, personal State Senator, former State Senator Lyon Sorensen is here. Thank you for coming today. Miro family members, Jackie. Where's Jackie? Thank you, Jackie, for coming. Daughter, I assume. Joe is here. Thank you, Joe, for coming. Julie. Julie, thank you. Thanks a lot for your help, Julie, in planning for this. Jim, thank you. Jim, Joanne, of course, thank you so much. You guys have done so much to be here today. I want to particularly call out Senator SOKOLA, who came up with the idea months ago. He called me and he said, we have to do something for a person I call Councilman Miro, for his years of dedication to this park. And also Kendall Summers, who's here. Today would not have been possible without the tremendous work of Kendall, who's our parks planner, who's gone over and above to make sure. The only thing I want to say is that we could be sitting in a Kmart right now, if not for the work of Joe Miró. I think everyone here knows that service is his love and his passion, and this is a monument to, this whole park is a monument to that. We're all better because of it. There probably wouldn't be a park here if not for the work of Joe Miró. So thank you so much for your decades of service, and naming this after you is just a small token for us to say thank you. I'd like to call up the councilman for the area and a strong supporter of Paper Mill Park, County Councilman Tim Sheldon.
Thank you, Matt. And I want to start off by thanking Joe for giving all his CTF money to this. So the next person might not get it, but thank you, Joe. That's great. I know Janet got him over here, and I'll let her speak her piece. But look, Joe and I have worked together. It's so funny, and I'll miss him, because he would say, well, we got to do this, we got to do something. And I would say, well, if it's that easy, Joe, why don't you do it? And then he would say, well, it's a county thing. I was on council before you were even around, and I got to go through that. So I appreciate everything for you to get this park, because you're right, it's a beautiful park. Anytime you have soccer practices or you need teams, this is where to go. It's a top-notch facility. So again, Joe, thank you for putting this here, and we all appreciate you and I'll miss you.
I called Councilwoman Kilpatrick about a week ago, and I said, you got to help me with this surprise thing. She, I think, was up late at night plotting. She figured out that we needed a solar-powered ice skating rink in Paper Mill Park, and we were going to meet with Joe at Dunkin' Donuts and talk about it for 20 minutes, and they were going to come over here and show him sites. She showed up this morning with a folder of drawings and all sorts of things. So, ladies and gentlemen, Councilwoman Janet Kilpatrick.
Thank you all.
She pulled a good one, I can tell you that.
We'll remember this one for a while, because I've never gotten one over on him. This was in my district prior to reapportionment, and then has gone over to Tim. So like much that goes on within this area, we tend to share a lot of the items and the kudos and the parts that aren't always so good. But this is one of our better events. Thank you so much for serving. Joe was my predecessor in county council. I've known Joe probably, 30 years maybe now. He was an acquaintance. He went to be my boss. He eventually was a mentor to me when I was running for council. He campaigned with me 2 campaigns every day, out in the hot, listening to him talk, So I figured if I could pull one over on him this time, it would be good. Although I think that I lied well enough that I'm not sure anybody in the county will ever believe anything that I say again. But I sat there at the Dunkin' Donuts this morning wondering if he really knew and he was just being nice. But the more we went through the plans for a 40 by 80 artificial skating rink with a pavilion, with a walkway that goes to it, and with a small changing room so you could put your shoes in there and put your skates on and go out and skate, the more excited he got. And when we came over here, we parked over on the side lot, and immediately he went to the field in front of the parking lot and said, look at how flat this is, look at how big this is, this would be the perfect place to put a skating rink, and they could play hockey on it, and hockey is really something that's needed in the area. And I thought, okay, I think we got him. And then we got down here and he said, that's a private party. We really shouldn't be going in there. And we went, yeah, we're going to go over there anyway. And he went, why, do you know these people? And then we finally said, well, welcome, Joe, to your county retirement party. And the county executive pointed out the plaque on the front for the Miro Pavilion. So I'm going to tell you, if we ever get to an ice skating rink, we'll have you all back, and we'll probably be naming that after him yet, too. So thank you all for coming.
Senator SOKOLA.
Thank you, Matt, and thank everybody who had a part in making this happen. If the weather holds with what they're talking about for the next 2 days, you may see kids playing hockey right over there, because they have done it on that little pond, and they've also done it over there on the one by Paper Mill Road. But Joe missed one part of his history. He talked about 6 years on council and 20 years in the legislature. Before that, he was the president of the Pike Creek Valley Civic League. And it was in that capacity that you started the negotiations and working with Mr. DuPont and others on what to do with this. And we have that parcel over there because of Joe's work that's part of the White Clay Creek State Park. And there's a whole lot of other things we could get into if we wanted to. But this is something that, what was it, Joe, about 6 or 8 years ago, Jack Markell signed a bill. I think it was a bicycle safety bill right here in this pavilion. And I told Jack and the crowd there a little bit about Joe's history and how this ought to be part of Joe's legacy because of all the work he did to get this done. Often, they talk about the legislative process being like making sausage or something, and you never really know what goes in. And often when there's a state rep and a state senator and maybe an active person from one of the local umbrella civic groups, the amount of work is kind of split even between them. In this case, it was 95% Joe Miro and 5% me, believe me. I wanted a park here very much, but he just had a grasp, and with the group from the Pike Creek Valley Civic League that he had been involved with before I was involved, that just seemed to be working, and so I just figured I'm going to stay out of the way, and I'm glad I did because it turned out absolutely perfect. Tomorrow, if you come out here, even if it's going to be cold, people are going to be doing laps before turkey and laps after it. This place is always vibrant. There are always people walking, pushing a baby stroller, playing soccer. It is a true, significant part of the community, and we should always remember Joe's part in making this a part of the community. Thanks a lot, Joe. I'm honored to be here and proud to support you.
Thanks,
Next up, we have our state representative for the area, who I know will be just as supportive of Paper Mill Park and as supportive of the Joe Miró ice skating rink. State Representative Mike Smith.
Well, when I heard about this, the very first thing I thought of was, what am I allowed to do? Am I allowed to do anything for Joe? How do you do it? So Rich Puffer, who works down at Legislative Hall, I started walking around Leg Hall asking people, am I allowed to do tributes yet? How do you do tributes? What am I allowed to do? How do you do it? And he helped me get it done. He delivered it to my house, unsuspecting to my wife, who I gave 10 minutes notice to. And I have a tribute that will be my first tribute as state representative for you, Joe. So I wanted to read that. But I wanted to just thank Joe for everything he's ever done for the area. He's been a great rep for us. I thought I was actually going to be late today dealing with a constituent issue on Polly Drummond Hill Road. And I thought, actually, Joe would actually love if I was late for that reason. So I'm going to do it. But I would like to read this tribute to Joe Miró. So the House of Representatives tribute, be it hereby known to all the House of Representatives, acknowledge the Honorable Josephi Miró, lifetime service to the community. We recognize this outstanding individual for his many years of dedicated service to the residents of Newcastle County. Mr. Miró has served as a member of the Delaware House of Representatives for 20 years, the Newcastle County 3rd District Councilman for 6 years, a teacher in the Christina School District and Wilmington School District for more than 30 years, a member of the Delaware State Education Association, chair of the World Language Department, a member of Foxfire Civic Association, president of the Hockessin Area Development Association, a member of Holy Angels Church, and the Knights of Columbus. He has greatly served the Hispanic community as a Latin American Community Center board member, a member of National Hispanic Caucus of State Legislators, and a member of the Governor's Advisory Council on Hispanic Affairs. We commend Mr. Miró for his lifetime of distinguished service addressing the needs and the concerns of this community. And it's signed by all the representatives. So Joe, thank you for everything you've done.
Janet talked about some of the campaigns that we put together and some of the walking that we did in the district. Well, I have to tell you that I did the same thing with Mike Smith, and I'm very proud that Michael was able to win the election and replace me, I think is going to be an outstanding representative in Dover, and I think he will represent this area as well as I did for so many years. So, Michael, congratulations, and I wish you the very best.
Thank you. And I guess we'll work on the ice skating rink together to kick it off.
Representative Miró, Janet actually told me the Joe Miró rules for canvassing, that there are no water breaks allowed, right? You just go straight through. Or no eating, drinking, it's all work.
When you are on the campaign trail, you have to become a camel.
And then once you're elected, what do you become? No, I'm not going to ask. So last but certainly not least, before we unveil the plaque, would Joe's son Jim come up and granddaughter Sophia?
Seth, you want to go first? No, you go. Oh, great. All right, I have some notes. So, we're awfully proud of you, Dad. Legacy. Legacy, by definition, is a gift of money or personal property or something that is transmitted or received from an ancestor or predecessor or from the past. Tradition, a valuable possession that is a common heritage from nature. My dad's legacy and tradition is around us right here in this park. This is a space that the whole family uses, that the entire community uses, and it is a fitting tribute for him to have this pavilion named after him. His legacy started long ago. We all know about his history, his time in Cuba, his flight from that country that he loved, where his mother lived, where his father passed away, but he was told to leave in order to find a better place, a place that would lead to prosperity with hard work. Let's fast forward a couple of years to this place, Pike Creek. This is the place that my dad chose to raise his family and make better for the past 40 years. In Pike Creek, he had 4 children and then decided to have a 5th and stop because he finally got it right. Sorry, guys, I had to get that dig in there. But his legacy extends well beyond the hills and valley of Pike Creek. For those of you that may know, my dad's work extends beyond the state boundaries. Internationally, he has done work with heads of state from Taiwan, in South America, all over the world. That's his legacy. Here at home, his legacy runs deep for the better part of 56 years. I say 56 years because as a teacher for 30 years, he's touched the lives of countless individuals. My wife is a teacher in Newark, and it's amazing to hear the parents of her students as they come up and say, "Your father-in-law was one of the best Spanish teachers I've ever had." Or, "Wait a minute, let me get this straight. Your father-in-law is Disco Joe? That's amazing." So, Disco Joe, your legacy from Newark High runs deep. The 26 years of public service on county council and as a state representative, originally serving the largest district outside of a statewide office of 83,000 people when the 3rd district extended from Newark all the way up to 202, and canvassing that area and not having water breaks, even as a kid, having to go through all the hills along 202, not being able to have water. Yeah, those rules have started long ago. All right, back to this. So, many years ago, he saw this space, you guys touched on it already, not as a place for commerce, not as a place for expansion, but as a place to preserve open space so that generations would be able to use this space for pleasure. Four of his grandkids, my 2 kids, Sophia, Andrew, they play soccer here on a regular basis. We're here every Saturday, every Tuesday, every Monday for practice. And it's amazing to see on a Saturday the thousands of people that are here to take advantage of this beautiful area. And it's all because of some hard work and dedication because of my dad. And that's a very proud moment. It's even more of a proud moment when my son says on most Saturdays, "Can we go play soccer at Pup-Ups Park?" Yep, of course. You are the reason that this park is in place. So from Pothole Joe to being an international man of getting it done, we say thank you, and thank you for your legacy and tradition. And we're all really, really, really proud of you, Dad. So, yeah.
I am so grateful to be a part of this celebration honoring my grandfather. I think this is a perfect time to have this celebration, knowing that tomorrow is all about giving thanks. My pup-up not only represented the county and state, but is and always will be the inspiration of our family. He works really, really hard, helping lots of family in the community. Even though he works hard, he always made family a priority in his life. He loves the cookout, family dinner, and watching kids playing outside. Family is what motivates my grandfather. My pup-up has coached more than his fair share of baseball, soccer, and softball teams for his 5 kids. He attends all kinds of sporting events for his grandchildren as well. I played soccer here on Saturdays for 6 years. My pup-up has brought me here to fish, take walks, and just run around on the playground. This being named for my pup-up makes me smile. I'm so proud of him because in this very pavilion is where family dinners, cookouts, and kids playing all take place. I think this is so perfect and fitting for him. I have so many memories at this park and plan to keep making more.
So, Joe, why don't you come on up, and we're going to unveil the plaque. Janet, Tim, Dave. In fact, everyone who spoke, why don't you, Mike, come on up. Paul, and Earl, come on up. We'll take hold on, let's wait till people are ready. Go ahead, do the countdown, Dave. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay.